This video is part of a series of SSIS tutorial videos created by COZYROC. In this video, I will show you how to configure a package that uses the Execute SQL test to create tables. First, I'll explain what I'm going to be doing with this package. So here we're looking at a set of Excel files in a folder. The first one that's currently selected is called dummy, and that's actually not a file that I want to work with, but I need it there to configure the package initially. So what I'm going to do is, for each of these files, I'm going to go through a for each loop container and process each of the files in this folder, and I'll use the name of the file to create a table by the same name. And then I'll copy the data from the Excel file into the table with the matching name. And now I'll go over and show you that I have a table set up by the name of dummy. So again, we don't actually want to process anything with the dummy file and the dummy table. They're just there so that we can configure the package. Okay, here we are in Visual Studio, and I've already configured 2 of the 4 variables that we need for this package. One is just going to hold the file name, and the other one is the file path where those Excel files are located. And now I'll configure the variable that I'm calling table name. And we need to set up an expression for this. So it's just going to take the file name and put square brackets around it. And I already had the expression configured there, so we'll just evaluate the expression. And there you can see it has dummy with the square brackets around it. And now the final variable I'm calling create statement. This is also going to be an expression. And I already have that configured. So I'll go over to my Notepad document and copy the create statement. So there you can see it's just creating a table that'll have the name, same name as the file name, and then it configures all of the columns that we need. So I just copy this and paste it into the expression builder. And we'll evaluate the expression, and there you can see it has dummy in the square brackets. Well, now you can see it. And we'll close that. And now I'll drag the for each loop container onto the canvas. And here you can see I have the connection managers already set up that we'll need. So I open up the for each loop editor, and we'll change the enumerator to for each file enumerator. And then here I'll browse to the folder where the Excel files are. And there's the Excel source files folder. And now for the files, we just want everything that has any name with the .xls extension. And then for the choices here, we choose name only, since we're going to be using it for a table name. We don't want the extension included. And we'll go to variable mappings, and we need to tell the for each loop container to put the file name into the file name variable. And now we'll drag the Execute SQL task into the for each loop container, and we'll open up the editor. And the result set should stay none. That's the default. We won't be returning anything from our statement because it's a create statement, so it's just creating the table. And our connection type is OLEDB. And then I'll choose the OLEDB connection manager I had already set up, and the SQL source type will be variable. And then we need to provide the source variable, which is going to be that create statement variable. And that's all there is to setting up this Execute SQL task to create a table for us. Now we'll drag the data flow task into the for each loop container, and we'll double click on it to go over to the data flow canvas. And we'll drag the Excel source component onto the canvas. And it's already chosen the Excel connection manager that was set up previously. And then we'll choose the worksheet name, which is just records. It's the same in all of the Excel files. We'll do a quick preview. And that was just looking at the dummy file. And here's the columns. And then we'll drag the OLADB destination component onto the canvas and connect the arrow and open the editor. It's already selected our OLADB connection manager. And for data access mode, we need to choose table name or view name variable, because the name is going to change each time through the loop. And we choose table name for the variable name. And we'll take a quick look at the existing data. Just shows us the columns. It's no data. And we need to click on mappings to get the input columns to map to the destination columns. And we're going to need to set up the Excel Connection Manager properties so that it can handle different file names each time through the loop. And we also need to set retain same connection to false because we're going to be processing multiple files. So here you can see the Excel file path is currently pointing at the dummy.xls file. So we need to set up an expression for the Excel file path. So we click on the ellipsis and we find the Excel file path property. And then we click on the ellipsis to set up the expression, which I already had pre-configured here. So I'll just copy that. And it's just combining the file path with a file name and putting a backslash in between. And there's 2 backslashes because it is an escape character. So we need the second one to tell it we really want a backslash there. And then we add the .xls at the end. So I'll just copy this and paste it into the expression builder and evaluate the expression, and that looks correct. Keep watching to see how to complete the configuration of our package.
Are you tired of updating packages because of changing metadata? How many hours have you spent accommodating new source and destination columns? How many nearly identical packages do you have to maintain? Especially when you need to update hundreds of them. Well, you should check out COZYROC's Dataflow Task Plus component. Dataflow Task Plus provides the ability to acquire the metadata and map the columns at runtime. You can even use transformations on the data. Just add the changes at the source and destination, execute, and Dataflow Task Plus will handle the process of extracting, transforming, and loading the desired columns from the source to the destination without a need to change the existing package. It works with any standard SSIS Dataflow components, transformations, and application adapters. No more manual package updates. Design your SSIS data flows with Dataflow Task Plus and save hundreds of hours. A vision of completely metadata-driven processing is now possible. Download COZYROC's Dataflow Task Plus from COZYROC.com. It's free for testing and development within Visual Studio.
We're going to need to delete the dummy file from the folder before we execute the package, because if we leave it there, it'll try to create another dummy table, and we already have one, so the package would fail. So in order to get it to not give us an error before we even execute the package, we have to set delay validation to true. And this way we can go and delete that Excel file and the package won't know. So now we'll go over to the folder and delete the dummy.xls file. And now we're ready to execute the package. And there you can see each of the times through the loop it's copying the data from the Excel file to the table. And it completed successfully. So we'll go take a look at some of the tables here. We'll look at Laporte. There's the data. And Montgomery. And Rush. So thank you for watching. If you'd like to follow us on social media, here's how you can do that.